Man,
So
before we get into your songwriting, you alluded to your vocals. I want to kind of touch on that a little bit, man. You're just so vocally unique to me as well. Is there a lot of strategy involved in how you deliver lyrics vocally, and is there a lot of thought given to your vocals in a studio atmosphere when you're making records and stuff like that?
well, thank you for that again. Uh, I'll say that my main goal is to be uh, on time and on pitch, which is the should be the main goal for all good singers. It's like that's maybe the most. Those are the two most important things, and then to be able to actually emote,
Yeah.
and find a um, find a way to make people believe it. That's it. That's important. And I have a problem sometimes writing too many words. um, you know, it's good if you can rhythmically make it work, but I try to remind myself it's like, all right, economy of words, take some of this stuff out and see what you can do with them, stretching it melodically a little bit more. But I have a high
Saying more with
tenor.
less, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And I have a high tenor voice. So I love all the great singers, Merle and George and Buck and Don, and the list goes on and on and on and on. But I think that at some point in time, I sort of realized that the Buck Owen stuff was really good for me because his register would be pretty high up there, and a lot of that early George Jones stuff I really dug a whole lot because again, it's just I can hit some of those notes,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know, mainly just be in time, be in tune, and try to put your soul into it. Be dynamic, don't just belt it out like you have voice and modulation.
Do you feel like your vocals have changed over time as well as you've gotten older and matured some?
I hope so. Yeah, I mean, I know so because I had to go back and type out all the lyrics to a lot of the whole 1100 Springs catalog so that we could submit them to social media platforms so that like on if somebody pulls up one of our songs, if they want to do a lyric video or something like that it'll be right.
Yeah.
So I listened to every single song over again and making sure that I got it right. It kind of drives me nuts when people post stuff and it's just like, yeah, it's not right. It's just that's wrong.
Yeah.
So, but I listened to our catalog from start to finish, and some of
You
it.
don't want to go on your Wikipedia then. Oh my
Oh no, I know, I know. I don't look at stuff like that. No, but some of the stuff from the early years, it's like it's not like I was, uh, I wasn't singing well. It's just I don't think I had found my voice quite yet. And there's that confidence when you actually, you do it all the time, and you know what you're trying to do with it. You've done it enough on stage, and you know how to do it. You just get better. Hopefully, that's the idea, right?
god. Yeah. And do you remember what your introduction was to rockabilly? Rockabilly, I mean.
I can totally tell you how this happened. It was pretty weird, really. Is that it wasn't rockabilly at first; it was psychobilly because my brother and I were into punk rock music,
Yeah.
and that's all we really dug on. And old school, some old school rock and roll, and whatever was around the house, which was everything. But psychobilly was something we had never heard. We were mainly into punk rock. He went on a trip to England, and he brought back these psychobilly records. Like, man, check this out. This stuff's pretty cool, and it just blew my hair back. It's just like,
Wow.
wow, like Demented Argo or the Meteors or any one of those types of bands that just it's like something I had never heard before. It's just like 50s rock from the moon or something. I don't know. But my mom, being super cool the way that she is, she's like, that's cool that you like that psychobilly stuff. But if you like psychobilly, you should go to the source, try some rockabilly music. I was like, what? What's that? She's like, well, we got some old 45s in the closet. I think there's some Gene Vincent and some Eddie Cochran in there. And
Wow.
and I started digging through all that stuff, and there was a lot of cool. My parents had cool music, and that was it. So Eddie Cochran probably well, and I was a closet Elvis fan, and what I mean by that is at the time with all of our friends, Elvis wasn't considered all that cool.
No.
Like It was, he was still Elvis, but it was, they hadn't revamped his image that much. And, but I would listen to his records, his 45s, like with the headphones on, so nobody would catch me
Nobody would
doing it.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, man, Elvis is pretty cool, man. I don't know. I don't want to tell anybody, but I think he's pretty cool. And then I saw this documentary called Elvis 56, and it covered the year that he really blew up. And they had all the original TV performances on in this movie. And man, when I saw the first time I ever saw what he looked like whenever he first went on television, what he was doing and how he was singing, how the band sounded, how they played, I just I unplugged the headphones. I'm like, man, I don't care who you don't like Elvis. You're wrong. I'm sorry. You're wrong. I mean, of course you can point to some stuff that he did that maybe you don't like as much, but if you don't think this guy's cool, then nothing is cool. It made sense when they say 50 million Elvis fans can't be wrong. After that, I was just like, man, that is it. That is the end all be all of
Do you
what
ever
cool.
delve into some of that Austin psychedelic rock from like the 50s,
Oh yeah.
like the 13th floor elevators and
Here's a funny story is that my mom grew up with Roky Erickson.
really?
And yeah, and it's funny because they converted all these home videos from the 50s, which of course there's no sound to them and they look all bad and everything. And they had this thing called the doll buggy parade where all these little 2-year-olds come out dressed up as something
Yeah.
or other.
Yep.
And then you see this one kid walk out and he looks like a ghoul or something. You don't know what he is. He looks like I don't know what they dressed him up as. And they're like, who is that? And my mom goes, that's Roky Erickson. But my mom, like when the Beatles were a big thing, she was one of the biggest Beatles fans ever. And he played guitar and sang. And I remember she told me the story that they were having some sleepover, her and a bunch of girls, and Roky came because he knew that my mom knew all the words to the Beatles song. And Roky, just like Romeo and Juliet or something, came to down there and sang, called up to the balcony, Fran, come down and sing the Beatles with me. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But yeah, 13th floor elevators are very cool. And of course, all the Cosmic Cowboy
Yeah, I got
stuff.
a really intimate kind of experience through those years. I was friends with Paul St. John for a while, and before he passed, and man, I had him on the show once, and over the years, he's told me some crazy stories from those days, and
Oh, I bet.
yeah, Waller Creek Boys, being in a band with Janis Joplin, and all that stuff back in the day, man. It's so cool to pick the brain of people who have been there and done that. You know what I mean?
Oh, I bet. Yeah, no, it's very cool. I mean, I love the whole history of it, and especially, in any way that we were kind of adjacent to it. My mom growing up in Austin, and all of everything that happened with all the, Doug Somm going and Boz Gags and all these people going out there and hanging with Jerry Garcia and all this stuff. Of course, we weren't around for that, but at the same time, it's just like it's just cool that the Texas has its place.
Yeah, it's
All of
crazy to
that,
think all the cool things that have happened in
Yeah.
Texas. Kind of
Yeah.
precursor to what we enjoy today. In a way.